Be vegan. Make peace. Do good deeds. Heaven Godspeed.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programas offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Naše programy nabízejí více jazyků. Prosím, navštivte suprememastertv.com/schedule.
So, in terms of veganism, that would mean that I want to avoid the cruelty that is condemned very, very clearly in the Quran and in the Hadith.
Please continue watching to find out more.
Vegan side effect. Can't find business in hell or closed on you.
Yatikal Afia. This means, may God give you health in Arabic, the national language of Jordan. I am Amira. The energetic Jordanians, filled with love, blessing, and positivity, walk the pure vegan lifestyle with you. Please share the wonderful benefits of veganism with your friends and family for all to enjoy. Welcome to God Made Me Muslim and Vegan. Interview with Duke McLeod, Vegan, Part 2 of 3.
If we think of compassion and justice as the two pillars of Islamic moral philosophy and spiritual practice, then a vegan lifestyle is the best way, in my honest opinion, that we can apply these values and how we can live them in our day-to-day life. The way we sustain ourselves is really important for our own spiritual and physical health. If we're eating cruelty, if we're eating disease, if we're eating fear, we will take that and
This insightful quote is from Mr. Duke McLeod, Vegan, a Sufi and social scientist. He is a PhD researcher in social anthropology at the University of Otago in New Zealand.
And his amazing ongoing research is on Islamic veganism, with the aim to support advocacy groups in promoting vegan lifestyles more effectively. In addition, he co-founded the Islamic Veg platform with inspiring vegan scholars to encourage the global Muslim community to go vegan. His spiritual awakening occurred 10 years ago when God graced him with vivid inner experiences that completely transformed his life. Mr. McLeod suddenly realized who he spiritually truly was, along with his Muslim origin. After the awakening, he became vegan, started pursuing the Sufi path, and devoted himself to the noble cause of spreading veganism and the compassionate teachings of Islam. Gentle viewers, let us continue with more holy teachings, whereby Mr. McLeod will elaborate on the Islamic principle of taqwa
and how modern animal people livestock factory practices are so disconnected from this.
Taqwa is one of these core principles of Islam, and it is mentioned a lot in the Quran as well, in different forms. We can translate taqwa as God consciousness. This is done by more modern Islamic scholars. And God consciousness is key in Islam if we want to live our life according to the ethics and the principles and also the laws. So Sheikh Hamza Yusuf from the USA, he says inevitably taqwa, God consciousness, will lead to two things. We want to abide by God's law, and we want to avoid what is beyond God's law. We want to avoid transgressing that law. So in terms of veganism, that would mean that I want to avoid the cruelty that is condemned very, very clearly in the Quran and in the Hadith. I want to completely avoid that. And I feel compelled to do that. I feel obliged, and I can't do no other. Some people always say, and lots of vegans probably hear this, oh, isn't it hard? You make all the sacrifices. I was like, no, it would be hard. It would be a sacrifice for me to eat something that I can't eat. When we look at the videos we see from the animal agriculture, from dairying, nothing of this could be said applies there. They are milked by robots, by mechanics. They are suffering. They are caged. They have infected and infested others from the brutality of these machines and from being overmilked and overused. And that is where the milk in the supermarket comes from. And that is why I say all of that milk and all the dairy products are not halal. They are haram. Halal is meaning allowed, and haram is meaning not allowed. Cruelty is just beyond what is allowed for anybody who follows these laws.
Let us proceed as the kindly scholar discusses the Quran's spiritual teachings regarding our original purpose on earth as guardians and why God chose us for this noble purpose.
Environmentalism is really important for vegans and for Muslims. We have so much evidence too in the scriptures of the Quran and the Hadith that environmentalism is important, and caring for the world, not exploiting the world. In that holy book, Adam was about to be appointed Khalifa of the world. So God wants to appoint the human as the steward of this world, right? As a caretaker, as a guardian. And the angels go like, no, why? why do you want to? But God's response in the second chapter of the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, was, I know what you do not know. So very mysterious. What does he know? And what I believe is what he knows is that we are having a spiritual collective evolution, a progress, a process in which humans learn individually and collectively. And it is my hope and my wish and my desire to contribute to that spiritual evolution with my own work, with this interview. Your organization is doing such an amazing job on that too. We have that ability to get beyond this bloodthirstiness and the destructiveness that is inherent in that we can get past this. There's also a saying of the Prophet Muhammad where he calls Earth our mother, and that we're meant to look after. And so the idealism of environmentalism is very much present in Islamic thought. We can remind people we are not meant to be tyrants and destroy this earth. If we are in some kind of entitled position as guardian, which lots of Muslims do believe, but if we are that, then we're meant to be gardeners. We're not meant to destroy the garden. We're meant to look after this place and leave it a better place than we found it in. And if we destroy this place, we will have no place for ourselves to live.
Islam is filled with loving examples of kindness and compassion towards all beings. Mr. McLeod now shares with us some holy stories of loving Islamic saints who taught us not to eat animal people.
Rabia is a famous one. There is a story about her. She's on a hill surrounded by animals. And this other Sufi scholar, he's like, wow, when I'm with the animals, they always run away from me. And how come they stay with you? And her response is to that, well, I don't eat them. So we have here a Sufi saint who lives this principle of harmony with nature. And this same story goes also a long way to show us the breadth of Sufism. There's lots of philosophy in the Islamic history too. I would like to mention one of them, Hay ibn Yaqzan, story about a human who gets born and created on this island where he's the only human being. He gets raised by a mother, by a deer. And he loses his mother as a 10-year-old. Anyway, lots of contemplation, lots of meditation, and lots of developing of taqwa. And he comes out as a raw vegan, just like the only thing that he thinks he should eat is anything that he can take which doesn't involve death, not even the death of plants. He's an enlightened figure, and this is his lifestyle. And so we have this philosophical teaching that we can draw on and say we want minimum harm and we want maximum harmony. We have a medieval scholar, Al-Ma'ari, who is maybe the best example. He has a beautiful part of his poem called I No Longer Steal from Nature, where he says, we're not taking the milk of the cow or the honey from the bee or any meat I shall not eat. And he was quite influential, but even scholars who talk about his worldview don't mention the fact that he was a vegan. So there's a story of the Prophet Muhammad going on a journey with some of his companions, and they're coming to a little shaded spot. There's some trees, and they rest there. The Prophet goes off to do some meditation by himself or some prayers, and the companions wait there under the tree. He comes back after some time. We don't know how long he was off, but long enough for the companions to get bored. They had in the meantime found a nest in the tree, and in the nest were some baby birds. They had taken the baby birds. The mother bird was fluttering around these companions, and the Prophet comes back and sees that, and he admonishes them. He said, "What are you doing? Put that baby back. You can't take the baby out of that nest. It's not allowed. You can't do that. You're stressing out the mom, and you're stressing out the baby, and you're gonna put that back right now."
Our utmost appreciation, Mr. Duke McLeod, vegan, for sharing the rich treasury of Islamic teachings that emphasizes kindness and love to all Earth's inhabitants. For more information, please visit islamicveg.org.
If we all went vegan, we'd go a long way toward dealing with climate change while also boosting overall health. Brian Green, vegan.
Beautiful viewers, it was a pleasure to have your company today. Please join us tomorrow for part 3 of this interview. Coming up next is the Greenest Heroes Gala, part 1 of a multi-part series. May Allah bless you for all your noble and compassionate deeds.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, hell not reach.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/VR.